Now, here's where I want to invite my friend up. I'm going to try to move this, hopefully not destroy it right now, but I'm going to invite my friend up. She is a mentor for the child psychologist Dr. Becky Kennedy's Good Inside, a parenting movement that aims to empower parents to be sturdy, confident leaders in their families, building secure relationships of mutual trust with their children. She's been married for over 41 years and says that because of a lot of therapy, she and Rob are looking forward to the fun they're going to have in the next 40. She has 4 adult children, all in their 30s, 2 tiny, adorable grandchildren. But when I asked her how I should introduce her, she said this: I want people to know that I'm a really loving, good mom who has made some mistakes that have tragically wounded her kids. Both and. Would you please join me in welcoming my friend, Linda Robertson? All right.
Thank you, Neely.
Linda.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you're so great.
I was just going to say, you brought me up as an example of one of those messy families.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Linda is someone who has mothered me, so I'm so grateful that she gets to be up here today to share. But I love this introduction, the way you want me to introduce you. You have this both and, loving, good, and made some mistakes. So tell me more about that.
Thanks, Neely. That is actually the way that I think about myself, that those two things are true about me. I am passionate about the fact that God's compassion on us, and in turn, our compassion on ourselves, allows us to see ourselves with more courage and clarity, and to be vulnerable with ourselves and others without shame. Being able to know myself, to know both of those things about myself, was foundational to being able to pursue genuine repair with my kids and to begin building deeply connected relationships with them. My husband, Rob, and I were blessed to have 4 kids, and I really loved being their mom. And what is also true is that, like all parents, we made a ton of mistakes. The Christian parenting books at the time taught an authoritarian model of parenting. It was all about making sure that kids behaved a certain way and using punishment and consequences in order to keep them behaving. It often dismissed what kids were feeling, experiencing, and struggling with on the inside, the things under their behavior. So we were correcting our children a lot, but we weren't connecting with them. And if you know anything about attachment theory, you know that God's design for secure attachment is all about connection. I was naturally a very compassionate mom, and I put a lot of time and effort into being the best parent I could be. But nobody had taught me the one skill the child psychologist Dr. Becky Kennedy calls the single most important strategy for parents, whether your kids are 6 months old or 60 years old: repair. I knew about apologizing to kids, of course, which I did if I knew I had hurt them, but I didn't know anything about healing repair. When I apologized, I often fell into the trap of saying, I am sorry, but. You know how it is. I am so sorry I was grumpy, but you wouldn't get out of bed. Or, I'm sorry I wasn't there on time, but Costco was a madhouse. Or, I'm sorry you were upset, but I didn't mean to hurt you. Or, I'd apologize not because I actually wanted to hear how my kids were feeling, but because I was feeling terrible. And I wanted them to forgive me, and fast, so that I could feel better. I think the difference between apology and repair began to become clear to me in 2001, when our 12-year-old son confided in me that he was gay. I loved him so much, and I was terrified. I parented for the next 8 years on a foundation of fear rather than faith. And because God designed our frontal cortex, the wise mind of our brain, to shut down when we're scared, for 8 years, I wasn't thinking clearly. Tragically, our son and his younger siblings were severely impacted by my inability to see their struggles and to show up for them. Truly, those were my very worst parenting years. I was consumed by trying to control and correct my son, while not realizing that I was neglecting to genuinely connect with him or with our other kids. Our beautiful boy died a death of despair in 2009, which, as you can imagine, was like a bomb going off in the middle of our family. It was like we were all lying around, bleeding and broken. And I knew my surviving children needed me, but I was hemorrhaging myself and was so convinced that I had failed as a mom that I couldn't get up to start healing and repairing with myself, much less to come alongside my children to see to their wounds. I had far more work to do than a quick apology. And it started with God showing me how to face what had happened, to start my grieving journey, and to begin the repair process with myself first. I began meeting weekly with a spiritual director and psychologist who had also lost a young adult in a very similar way. So I could start recognizing the impact my actions had on each of my children, grieve for those impacts, and have compassion on myself. I'm still doing that work, but I've come such a long way.
I've heard Linda's story so many times, but every time I'm so thankful for that vulnerability, that honesty of sharing your story. It's both challenging and encouraging. You can see the power, and I've gotten to witness it long beyond so many years in a friendship of what repair has looked like. And as I listened, I heard a little bit of that repair theme. You talk about the value of it. I wonder if you could share what you think we need to know about repair. And repair could be with our kids, our spouses, our friends.
Yeah.
What do you think we need to know about repair?
Well, since I feel like God gave us as parents the job, it's our responsibility to nurture secure attachment with our kids. Right now, I'm going to talk directly about kids, but you're right, the principles go to all human relationships. So I had to understand a couple of things before I could start practicing genuine repair with our kids and with my husband as well. I say practice because this is a practice. I still mess up all the time, but now I know what the goal is. So I am so determined to keep at it. So things I think I had to learn are, number one, mess up, then repair. This is the goal. It's what I call relational breathing. We often feel ashamed to bring up the things we've done that have hurt others. We even hope that they don't remember it. It feels like something bad is going to happen if we talk about it. But here's the thing. Consistent repair builds more trust and connection in a relationship than if the rupture had not happened in the first place. Literally. This is what the research shows. Children whose parents mess up but who regularly repair are more securely attached than when parents pretend they didn't mess up and they don't repair. Repair is the way to not only feel closer to our kids, but to help them feel closer to us. Number two, this was a big one for me. Upset kids are actually just kids who need connection. When my kids are upset with me, even really, really ticked, they aren't saying that they don't like me or that I'm a failure, but that's how I used to hear it. I didn't realize what a profound gift my kids' anger is. This is so important. When our kids are upset with us, they are expressing themselves because they want to feel connected to us. They need to feel connected to us, always. They get angry because they feel disconnected and they need us to understand them before they can feel connected again. Number three, repair helps our kids to feel known and understood. Dr. Becky says that the goal of repair is to learn more about your child and not for your child to tell you it's okay. When I repair with my kids, I get to hear them vulnerably tell me about their own experience. And that is the goal. We want to learn more about our kids, to give them a chance to express their feelings and to hear us respond with genuine empathy and validation. And 4, this is so cool. Genuine repair actually heals past wounds. This is when God gets in and does the healing. He has designed it so that when parents repair with a child, their brains actually change the way they store the memory of pain and trauma. The memory is still there, but now layered around it in the brain is the opposite of aloneness. It's connection, warmth, empathy, compassion. Isn't that amazing? Repair, essentially, is when we circle back to a moment of rupture and disconnection, naming how we responded, taking full responsibility for our behavior, and acknowledging its impact on the other person.
So good, so insightful. Okay, get us real practical. Tell us, what are the steps? How do we repair?
Okay, real quick and dirty here. Now, number 1, circle back. I might say, Neely, I noticed when I made that comment about your teenage years, you bristled a bit. I've been thinking about it, and it was really an insensitive thing to say. Name what I did. I said something in front of your friends that wasn't mine to share. It was inappropriate, and it was unkind. Empathize with the impact. If I was you, it would have felt really bad and embarrassing. You have every reason to be angry with me, Neely. Let my kid know what I'm going to do to work on it. I'm going to take some time to figure out what was going on for me. It was my stuff, so that it doesn't happen again. I love you, and the last thing I want to do is to hurt you. But I did, and I'm sorry. Listen and keep listening. I might ask something like, how are you feeling about what happened? Or is there anything you want to tell me? I'll do my best not to interrupt or defend myself or explain. And if I do, Neely, you have permission to throw a flag. In fact, I want you to. Really, the most important part of repair, if you remember nothing else, is listening, validating the other person's feelings, and empathizing with them. That's how I've learned, and I'm practicing, to make my family feel understood, heard, and loved.
So great. Now, all of this, I didn't even have to say it.
Okay.
All of this is ongoing work. Again, as much as our inner work is ongoing. Oh, Linda, you just don't run off like that. Come back here. I'm not done. I'm not done with you yet. That's my mom voice, so that was it right there. You heard how I mother. And there are a couple things that Linda said I want to make sure we say it again. Is like, it's actually good news when this happens and we get to do it and practice, because the more we do it, the better we get at repair. And think about all of the relationships. The more we step into this, the better we get at repairing relationships. And if we look back at Joseph's story, can you imagine places where there is disconnection in your families, in your relationships, now being places where you are joyfully holding each other, weeping over each other, kissing each other, whatever the repair looks like? That's the work we're trying to do here. So, you guys, with so much wisdom here, so will you please join me in thanking my friend who came on Mother's Day to share her story? So thanks, Linda.